Welcome back. We're in video 2 of 2 in chapter 3 of CSE 3200 Android development. In the first video, we learned about the activity lifecycle, going from the non-existent state to the created state, to the started state, to the resumed state, and then back. And today what we're going to do is we are going to go into logcat, something that is different than is in your book, so you might need this video. And we're going to log the activity lifecycle by putting in some tags or messages. Let's do it. Okay, so I am going to put in a line of code, and it's going to have an error in it, but I want to talk about why it's an error. All right, so I've typed private constant, C-O-N-S-T, val tag equals, and then a string main activity, and the string is just there so that when we are running the logcat, we can search for the string and it can tell us this message belongs here. Okay, so when I first saw this line, being new to Kotlin, I thought, well, that is pretty weird. Constant, I knew it from Java, and constant, it means that you can't change it. And you have these two types of values, variables. In Kotlin, var for variable, it can vary. You can change it during code, execution of the code. And val, which once it is set, you cannot change it. So when I saw constant val, I thought that that was curious. And I may have actually made this mistake at one point too, where I typed it here and it's underlined in red, and if I can find that error, let's see, trying to hover, constant val are only allowed on the top level in named objects or in companion objects. All right, so what it's saying, and I'll fix it and then I'll talk about it, is I'm going to cut this and I'm going to put it at the top level up here above main activity. All right, so what the difference is between using constant and not using constant is where in the memory, where in the compile time or run time it's going to get established. So if you have constant, that means that this value is going to be assigned at compile time. If it's lacking the modifier constant, that means that it will be put into existence during runtime. So a slight difference there. But what we could use this for is, well, basically tagging the message, annotating. So we can have access to it kind of outside of the activity, if you will. Okay, so we have created this thing called a tag, and it's going to be something that is of class log. So let's see. When I'm in the onCreate method, I want to go after my super.onCreate, and I'm going to go capital LOG, and all right, yep, so I'm going to select that. And did I get my my import? I did. Okay, so log.d, and the D stands for debug. There are other options like V for verbose, or I think W for warning. There's a bunch. And it just has to do with there's a bunch of different levels, and I will post a video about those levels. All right, so inside of the parentheses, we are going to say that this is our tag, and the message that we are going to give is the second argument, and we are going to say on create parenthesis entered. That'll work. I'm going to copy and paste this And what we're now going to do is we're going to find a space outside of my onCreate. And my onCreate's pretty long. Okay, I'll go right here before update question. And I'm going to make my other 5 methods that's in the activity lifestyle, overriding each. Override fun on stop. I don't know why I thought of that one first. And I was kind of thinking that it would give me that first line of code, but it didn't. And I've got an error, and that's probably because I'm missing that first line of code. I'll put that in a minute. We'll see. All right, so let's see. Opposite of the create is destroyed. So override fun on destroyed. Oh, okay. I auto-completed and it gave me super.onDestroy. So I'll do that now. Super.onStop. And I believe that error is gone. It is. All right, so the opposite of stop is start. I feel like I'm doing this a little out of order. Not a big deal. Override fun on start. And I didn't autocomplete, so I guess I got to type this. Super.onStart. All right, that's 4 of them. I got 2 more. Resume and pause. Override fun on PAU. I guess there's lots of other functions that go on. Super.onPause. Did not want that. Big old line through it. Deprecated. On pause. One last one. And then we're going to put the messages in them. Override fun on, now I've lost track of which one I'm missing, on resume. Super.on resume. Okay, so I've only got one message so far, and that's the one that I put into the onCreate, and I should still have this on my clipboard. So we are going to have a similar message for each of these. Enter. onCreate entered. Nope, this one is on stop. Not on top, on stop. And then we're going to do that for each one of these. All right, I paused that so that you didn't have to, be in silence as I typed, but I do want to double check that I have the correct message for each. On stop and on stop, on destroy and on destroy, start and start, pause and pause, resume and resume. Okay, so I have the messages. Now it is time to use logcat. So down here on this toolbar, I'm going to hit logcat, and it may have, it does. It has my tag in there already. I forget what you have. I think it's like package mine. So what you want to do is you want to delete that package mine and type in tag : main activity. Now, I'm not sure how to get this to be like cap sensitive. I don't care that it isn't, but I was a little surprised at first because tag is all caps and the M and the A are capitalized in main activity. But when I typed it in caps, it put it all lowercase, which I'm sure is absolutely fine. But anyhow, as we take a look at this, we see that we have created something, started something, resumed something, and then created, starting, resumed. Okay. And that's all before I even had the application running. So let me see what happens when I run it. Just notice this beginning of crash. So was it actually running? And if it crashed, I would have to take my tag off to get other messages perhaps to see why it crashed. But I'm a little curious about that. So let's see. This is Australia. That one's true. It's giving you the message. We aren't leaving any states at this point. So, all right. So I go next, and I rotate, and nothing there has changed. Now, I'm going to tell you that is actually an error that I am not sure where it's coming from, and I didn't get it until I updated to electric eel. So I have some queries out there online to see if maybe that could be the problem. But when I rotated, we should have seen the on destroy get called. You'll see my screenshots from my computer in my office that still has dolphin on it. And that might not be the issue, the dolphin versus electric eel, but I haven't found any differences other than that at this point. And I know that as soon as I updated to electric eel, I lost the that error. And so the bug is going to look like to you, what bug? Well, the thing is, there's supposed to be a bug, and the fact that I'm not seeing the bug happen is the bug itself. So as I rotated it, what is supposed to happen is that we should have gotten the on destroy called, and the question actually should reset. And I do have a video, a short video, like 15 seconds or so, that shows you that this actually happens on my computer in my office. All right, so we have learned how to log the activity life cycle, and unfortunately we didn't get to see it all, but I'll show it in that other video, and hopefully eventually we can find where this bug is. But we did see on create, on start, and on resume called, and it feels like, okay, we're in the resume, this is our active state, and we never actually get to leave it. We should be able to leave it somehow, and this using this back button should do the trick, and it also is not doing the trick. It is, you can see I just backed out of the application. That should have also called on destroy, and it's not there, and I don't even show that in my other video. But maybe if I hit this stop here, that one of those two, or that one, if that one wasn't supposed to call on destroy, I'd be surprised as well. So right now, maybe that one didn't call on destroy because I'd already stopped it. So I'm going to pause the video and see. All right, just pause it long enough so that you didn't have to wait for this to come back up. So now while it's still running, I'm going to hit this and no. So even I didn't back out and then hit the stop. This time I hit the stop, it's also not showing that the process was destroyed. Okay, so I would love to see how many of you have this issue, and maybe with, I don't know, the 85 of us, we can figure out what's causing the issue if some people have it and some people don't. We'll see. It might be something that we go quite a while not figuring out why that isn't giving us what we should see. So, all right, so we've covered our 2 objectives for Chapter 3. In the first video, we learned about the activity lifestyle, and in this video, even though it's not doing what we expect, we did log the activity lifecycle. And I'll talk about, again in class, what should have happened where, and hopefully make that clear, because as we go into Chapter 4, we're going to be fixing that error, and you actually don't get to see that error in the videos here. All right, so next time, Chapter 4.